Hello, everyone. Let me turn on my video. There we go. Um, so I am so sorry that I missed our final class session, but in a way, this gives me a good opportunity to deliver an even, like, hopefully more impactful final message for you guys. And that message I will hold for a second, and I will first of all go over the rest of the grading criteria to make sure everything's clear for everybody. So if I share my screen and pull up the syllabus. So just going over everything that you need to do one more time. So there's tests of textbook material. There's 3 exams. Each of them are worth 100 points. So far, you guys are all doing pretty well. So you've got an essay option if you want, but you're all doing pretty well at this point. So um, basically, if you want to do the essay version of any of the 3 exams, really, you need to send me an a 1 page document answering the questions like I outlined in the um, area in Canvas. If I go back here and open up Canvas, just in case you want to do the essay version of the final exam, the instructions are right here. And basically, group 1 is the substitute for exam 1, group 2 is the substitute for exam 2, and group 3 is the substitute for exam 3. You got to pick one of those 2 topics out of whichever group is relevant, and you need to write a 1 page essay on that topic. Just choose one out of the 2. No more than 12-inch font, no smaller than 12-inch font, no smaller than 1-inch margins. Um, and that's your option. So if you want to do the essay version, you need to email it to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to know that you did it. Otherwise, your exam grades are going to populate automatically into those areas of the grade center. So if you want to do the essay version, do it, email it to me before the end of the day on December 18th, and I will use the appropriate essay, if you so choose, and substitute the grade that I give you for that for what you otherwise would have gotten for your um, exam grade. And don't forget, I have not curved the exam grades yet. So the worst you can do is a 75%. Even if you bomb the exam, that's the worst you can do. So you can do worse than 75% if you do the essay version. So think carefully before you decide to do the essay version. But if you do, this is what you need to do. And don't forget that you have to email it to me, and I will substitute it for your exam grade. But your exam grades will not be updated and curved until after the 18th. So just recognize that if you got a really low score, the worst you're going to do is 75%. And basically, after the end of the day on the 18th, I will go through and I will give the top third of the class an A, the middle third of the class a B, and the bottom third of the class a C on the final exams. And that's the worst you can do, one of those 3 areas. If you want to substitute, there's your instructions. So that is the first part of your grade. Second, participation. There are 24 total sessions that we ended up having for our class this semester. And each of them has a unique attendance code, which I mentioned at some point during the class. So if you have 24 different attendance codes corresponding to the 24 that I mentioned in class, in that little spreadsheet that or actually the Google form, I can download a spreadsheet from that Google form, and I can see for each of you whether you typed in the 24 separate codes. If you did, you get 220 points. If you did something less than 24, I just multiply the number of sessions, I divide the number of sessions you did enter by the total number of 24 and multiply that percentage by 220 points. Your implementation project, I think for the first time ever, I'm really proud of you guys and me on the team effort here. I finally have given input on your drafts to every single one of you before the end of the semester. So whatever project you're doing, if you follow the instructions that I gave you, that's what you need to do to get 150 points. Now, if you only follow part of the instructions, you only get part of the 150 points, but follow all of my instructions and you get all the points. I will grade those after the end of the day on December 18th. So starting on the 19th, I will go in and I will start giving grades to all the projects. I do not expect to have time to give any more feedback on intermediate versions of your projects during this coming week, but I will try my best if any of you email me about that. I can't guarantee, but I will try. So that's 150 points. Here's all the descriptions basically of what each of the products needed to be, but don't follow that as much as following the advice that I gave each of you on my feedback. Okay, LinkedIn, you got 25 points automatically at the beginning of the semester. Before the end of the 18th, you need to do all of the things that are described here on page 4 of the syllabus. Got to add a picture, got to add a summary section. The summary section should have 3-sentence format. Add your degrees, add your work experience. Make sure that the work experience has deliverable accomplishments. Include the following at the end of a short 1-sentence description of what the job was, and then have a line break, and then you need to describe accomplishments with numbers. There's got to be a number in every single accomplishment listed. And then same thing down in the academic projects section. I want you to choose 5 classes, projects, homework assignments that you're particularly proud of having learned during your degree at CSUB, and I want you to list those as described here. Then make sure there's no grammar errors. Do all that. Basically, I am going to go in again, beginning of the day on December 19th. I'm going to go to each person's profile and I'm going to see if all this stuff is there. If all this stuff is there, you get 100 points. If it's not, you get something less than 100 points. So that's what you got to do for the rest of the LinkedIn assignment. The quizzes you were supposed to have been doing over the course of the past, 4 months, basically? No, we're doing 2 a week, so 2 months. I thought that sounded a little long. So you were supposed to be doing these all along. If you add up 5 points for each quiz, that's 80 points total. For professional development, all of you already got 25 points at the beginning of the semester for giving me what your goals were. Now, for the end of the semester, there's 50 more points, 20 plus 15 plus 15. Each of you, I'm going to make this a little easier for all of you. Like, if you download a list from Reference Solutions of jobs you'd like to apply for, companies that you'd like to apply for, companies that you'd like to network with, companies you'd like to have as customers in the future. If you use this database, because like I said in class, I need people to use this database more often to justify our continued subscription to it. It's an awesome database and students are not using it enough. So I added this in for that reason. I think you'll all be glad that you used it if you're searching for a job, if you're searching for customers, if you're trying to do networking, any of those goals. This is a fantastic database for that. If you did not download anything from that database, then you at least have to send me 1-page Word document with what your career goals are over the next year, or a list of 10 jobs you want to apply for in that Word document. Basically, if you do the job search stuff, you should just use Reference Solutions rather than the Word document. But since all of this has kind of been unclear, if you give me a list of 10 jobs in the Word document, I will also give you credit for these entire 35 points. So if you download a list, you get the 35 points. If you write up a Word document, you get the 35 points. If you do both, you also get the 35 points and my gratitude. But I'm making it a little bit easier. You can do one or the other. But I really appreciate if you use the reference solutions database. And then if you don't need any particular jobs to apply for, customers to seek, or networking contacts to network with, then at least write me a 1 per page Word document with your career goals, and I will give you the whole 35 points for that Word document. If you have any use whatsoever for the reference solutions database, I very much appreciate you downloading the information and using it. It is a fantastic database for career searches, networking, or for finding new customers for your business. Okay, and then finally, everybody needs to send me an Excel spreadsheet with what you expect your expenses to be after you graduate. If you do that, you get the other 15 points. So reference solutions list plus Word document, reference solutions list, or Word document, you get the 35 points. Then you need another spreadsheet of your budget for the final 15. So that's, if you add all that up, that's 50 points. And that's what goes in the like professional development column at the end of the semester for your grade. There's another separate column in your grade center for these 25 points that came at the beginning of the semester. And then finally, every single one of you submitted a question, so you all got 50 points for the guest speaker questions. That is the entirety of your grade. That's everything that you need to do. So things that are still coming up, make sure to do either reference solutions or a Word document and send me the results in an attached document or upload it to the Grade Center before the end of the day on December 18th. Make sure that you create an Excel spreadsheet with your predicted budget post-graduation. Either email that to me as an attached document or upload it to the Grade Center. That is those 50 points, and those are still pending. The quizzes are basically all over but the crying. Some of you missed some of them, so you're going to miss those points. Most of you did the quizzes. LinkedIn, you need to make these edits that I described. As of the beginning of the day on the 19th, I'm going to go in, check whether each profile has these various edits or not. If they do, you get the full points. If they don't, you get something less. Your project needs to be finished by the end of the day on the December 18th as well. Pretty much all of you have sent me a link, or if you, everybody knows what they have to submit, but if you're submitting like a industry research or competitor research, you have to send me the updated document. If you have created a website or you're doing a social media marketing project, then there we go, social media marketing. Then basically the link that you already sent me, you don't have to send it again. I will just go in and look at the website as of the beginning of the day on the 19th. I'll look at the social media page as of the beginning of the day on the 19th, and I will grade you out of 150 based on whether you did what I told you to do or not. And then finally, if you did, I don't think anybody's doing patent and trademark research. Logan, your sales outreach project, we're going to work on directly. Competitive and industry research, if anybody is doing those, you need to send me the document. If you're doing a contract document, make sure to send me the attached final contract document. I think most of the contracts look good already, but make sure to send me whatever you consider your final version. I don't think anybody is doing accounting. No one's doing capital resource acquisition. And that's all the different types of projects. So beginning on the 19th, I will look at all the projects and I will grade them. Beginning on the 19th as well, I will go in and I will look to see if you have 24 different unique attendance codes that I mentioned over the course of the semester. And if you do, you get the full points. If you have less than that, you get something less than 220, and I will grade that starting on the 19th. So you still have time if anybody hasn't entered those. And then finally, I will curve the exam grades and I will start grading the essay submissions as of the beginning of the day on the 19th. So you have until the end of the 18th for all the stuff that is still due. So that is the end of the description of all of the graded elements that you still have to do. Let me stop my screen share and then go back to some reminders for myself. You also, just FYI, if anyone is interested in seeing Emily's answers for the guest speaker session, they are all available on Zoom or on Zoom on Google's Docs, basically in the same place where you had the link before. If I share my screen again, you'll see here's all of your questions. In some of these categories, Emily put a comment of their own. And then in advice, they summarize various pieces of advice for you guys and put them in this tab. So all of that is in this link, which I will include in the email. So stop that screen share. Check one more thing. Yep. So, William, assuming that you haven't done so already, please drop off the SOSE envelope to the library front desk. And then the last thing that I still have to do for you guys is a little bit of a motivational speech and a brief saxophone jam session. So, like I've mentioned a couple times over the course of the semester, um, most of us don't end up doing for our day job what our passion in life is. I'm pretty lucky to be very passionate about my job and have some hobbies that I'm really passionate about. But even though I really love my job, it's really important to still find time for my hobbies because the world's got plenty of entrepreneurship professors already. It doesn't really need me as much as it needs me to create saxophone jams that only I think of. Everybody else has a slightly different, creative product they want to do compared to me. So that's a very unique contribution that I always try to carve out time for. So, even if it's 5 minutes per month, 5 minutes per month adds up to an hour over the course of a year. And an hour is infinitely better than zero. Even an hour will move you slightly forward in getting something done that's important to you. So try and carve out a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. And, I said that missing the last class session gives me an opportunity to even underline more my message to you guys. And part of that message is not just find time um, for your passion, but also give yourself a break a little bit and always try again. Like nobody's perfect. I really, really regret not doing the last class session. I was absolutely at the end of my rope with exhaustion, but that's a real like downer to end the semester on. So I've been kind of beating myself up about that over the weekend. But um, you know, you can't change the past. So you pick up and you try and learn from things. In this case, my learning is that I need to set a little bit more realistic goals during the semester and not get so overextended. Um, but that's in the past. I learned from it, and now you try and like make up for things. So I'm gonna come back to you guys and say, hey, even though it's a couple days late, here's the final jam session, and here's my continued support for you guys. So I'll give you a jam quick, but I want you to all know that even though the semester's over, I consider myself a resource for you for the rest of my life and the rest of your careers. So you ever need a recommendation, you ever need like more advice on entrepreneurship, on small business, you need job assistance, networking, referrals, I'm always here to help you guys. So with that note, let me have a little bit of fun and show you my little music studio and then play a song for you that I really love. So this is my house, which is basically filled with maps of all the cities I've ever lived in my life and a whole bunch of toys that are left over from when my mom passed away like a year and a half ago. And then this part you can see is actually like the music studio portion of the house. And I am going to now set up, try not to trip, and set up my laptop right here and get out the saxophone and play a little jam with um, my boom box here behind me. So, okay, hello everyone. After numerous attempts to get the audio settings right, I think I finally figured it out. So here's part 2 of the recording, the actual saxophone performance. So let me make sure one more time. There we go. The settings are correct. So I believe where I left off with the story earlier today, I was just saying that, you know, 5 minutes of investment of time a week leads up to, let's see, uh, four, four or five, between 4 and 5 hours over the course of a year. And 5 minutes a month will give you an hour over the course of a year, which is enough time to accomplish a tiny bit of steps forward. So, I don't have a whole lot of time to invest in my saxophone. So, over the course of the years, I've put in 5 minutes here, half an hour there, and just doing that, even though I barely play at all anymore, by just playing a little bit here and there, I'm still able to keep up doing things like this. Not perfect, but better than a sharp stick in the eye. So I'm going to play one song for you guys where I play along with. This is one of my favorite artists in the whole world, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Probably, in my opinion, the best Texas blues player that ever lived. Some of my favorite rock blues music in the whole world. And yeah, let's see if we get it right this time. Okay, here we go. Take it away, Stevie. Okay, hopefully this time I got the audio settings right, so you can at least kind of hear what it feels like live. Um, you know, it's not perfect, but like I said before, it's a hell of a lot better than a sharp stick in the eye. And if you just keep at things, just invest a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, a little more time here, a little less time there, and if things aren't perfect, let it go, learn from it, pick yourself up, and try one more time. The only thing between success and failure that determines between the two, like I said earlier in the semester, is getting up and trying one more time. So, with that, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. It's been a real honor being your professor over the last couple of months, and I hope you all stay in touch. I am happy to help you with whatever comes next in life. So, take care, happy holidays, and I will hopefully hear from all of you and see you around sometime soon.